today we're going to talk about device connectivity specific to torque tooling. Very easy for us on the eFlex ecosystem to connect to these torque tools. What I have on my bench here is a few different types of torque tools from a few different suppliers. Very easy for us to connect, and they all connect in a very similar way. That's through Ethernet connection. They're all open protocol. So, that's what we're looking for. We are agnostic to the hardware. It doesn't matter what brand, but they do have to be open protocol in order for us to, very easily connect to it, and then for us, obviously, to implement those solutions out on the plant floor.
Let's jump into the hardware page and take a look at how easy it is for us to connect to these devices. Again, remember, it's a true plug and play. So I'm in my back-end configuration, and the first step is to select that hardware section of the configuration. At this next step, we're going to choose what hardware we're connecting to. In this specific instance, we're connecting to a torque tool. So I'm going to drop this hardware down and select what I'm connecting to and select Open Protocol Torque Tool. My first step is naming that tool. So give it its own individual unique name, right? So for example, I'm just going to call it Tool 12. We then tell it what version we're running. And then within this section, it's called the IP address. We then are going to document that IP address that's associated with that torque tool. So I'll plug in whatever that is here. I'm just putting this in for conversational purposes. And then I name the port. So those are those required fields. Once that information is then put in, this red light will then turn green. That means that that torque tool is successfully connected and ready for us to use that. So we do have a few other fields as well, serial number and calibration date. Those are not required fields, but those are just fields that you can enter this information in, so you can always go back and reference that, obviously for your own needs. So that's how easy it is for us to connect to an open protocol torque tool.
All right, continuing our talks on the open protocol torque tools, I'm actually going to display out what this looks like and how we work hand in hand with the torque tools. So first and foremost, what we do is we actually enable this tool when we get to the task in which we're going to use it. Other than that task, this tool is actually disabled. So that operator or technician at any point can't pick that up and start using that until they get to the task in which we are utilizing this. So first and foremost, there's that factor. Next, what we're showing on the screen here is we have what's called our dynamic work instructions. So this kind of helps guide that operator in showing them exactly which fastener bolt that they're currently working on at that time period. So that's what you'll see me do running through this and torquing these screws onto the speaker assembly. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I got to the task in which this gets enabled, so this now works. I'm going to go ahead and grab my screw and I'm going to start torquing that. So first and foremost, I put it into the torque cap. I torque that down. And once I get a passing parameter, you can see that we actually capture that torque value as well as the torque angle as well. So not only do we collect that information, we store that for you for as long as you need us to store that. So at any point, you can go back and pull all of this information up specific to that serial number. So I'll go ahead and work on the second screw while I'm kind of talking through this as well. So you can see here that this is just an Atlas Copco micro torque that we're currently using right now. But again, earlier we showed you how easy that was to connect to this device, and then very easy to prompt this operator technician on how to go through this process. So as you can see, I have one more left that I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and finish my build, and once I'm done, it's actually going to automatically move to that next task for us. All right, now let's jump in here and take a look at the reporting aspect and how we've collected all that information, right? So specifically, I'm in our part history reporting, and I have that serial number pulled up in which we ran all those different torque fasteners in. So this is where we actually store all of that information that we've collected along that process. So it gives us information like who that operator was and when they've accomplished this and how long it took them for each individual process step, right? We go down to the task level to capture that. But as you can see here, here's the station that I ran through. And then we've stored all of those torque values and torque angles. So at any point, if you need to take this information and share it with a colleague or a client or anyone else, you have that ability. In fact, we actually have an export button down at the bottom right. You select that export button, it downloads a CSV file for you, and now you have that information at your fingertips. Now on top of this, we've also collected any other information we've collected, any part marriages, any images along the way, very easy to pull up as well.
I hope you found this video very informative. If you want to learn more, there's videos that you can click on right here, and that'll take you to the next video. Or if you'd like to request a demo, you can click the link in the details, and that'll take you out to a demo request form. Thanks again for your time, and please don't forget, like and subscribe. Have a good one, everybody.